important stat is the W. They secure second seed for this LPL squad. Important to note, Gigabyte's not out of it yet, so they still have the opportunity to strike back later in the day. Let's look at how WE crafted this victory, though. Starting in Champ Select, priority 4957, the first pick Fizz.
Yeah, and blind picking it. So really calling out Stark, saying that you don't have an answer there. They did go for the Galio, though. I like the idea with the Galio on top of the lane swap, just because Galio would be able to wave clear so effectively, but then they didn't use it. They lane swapped, they got 2 cheeky kills, and they swapped it back, and it just got crushed.
I think if you look at the composition that Gigabyte Marines drafted, it's kind of a 4-1, right? And if that gets stuck against the Talia in the mid lane, I think it's a great way to keep these guys in check in the early game. A lot of their power comes from these roams. Like time and time again, we see like 5-man bot, like 4-man rotations here. And you can't really do that against a champion that can push you in so easily and chase you relatively safely as Talia. And he has shown throughout the tournament that he's such a great Talia player. So I think that actually was a key pick for Team WE.
I think it was, and I think another key pick for WE was the Jhin for the other team, because I think that this champion, it just doesn't work really very well in the meta right now.
Nor their style, right?
Exactly, like their style was all about, we talked about it before, about pushing lanes, about getting the pressure, of allowing Levi to have access to the opponent's jungle, because they always have the pressure. Jhin does the exact opposite, and not only that, but when you're playing against a multiple shield team, you lose so much effectiveness on the ultimate because you don't actually get the people low with your original bullets, so you don't get the execute from your force shot to ever actually kill anyone. Like, the Jhin ultimates were hilariously ineffective.
But still, he got first blood.
Got first blood.
That was hype. First blood. Frost, you got some thoughts here?
Yeah, and the fact that the shield comp was slowing down was the Ivern. The big thing is that was the first Ivern that we've ever seen from Condi. He never played it back into the LPL. I believe it was played by 2 junglers domestically, MLXG and Bengi, so it is not a pick for the LPL. And I love what the casters were saying, you know, this idea that over the course of MSI, Team WE have been evolving or maturing as a team. They are no longer just that Elder Dragon late game team. They now have this early game, and they now have more picks.
Absolutely. The growth for this WE squad has been tremendous. It's also been great for the Gigabytes as well, again, from play-ins to now. I want to return to that first blood, this lane swap that the Gigabytes have been continuing to throw out against team this time around, starting with the Raptor, getting 2 early kills onto their bot lane.
Yeah, we have to find some positives for Gigabyte Marines, and sadly, this is probably like the only one in the entire game. It's quite cheeky, actually.
They had some good skins.
Yeah, they had some nice skins. Using the grenade to get to an early experience advantage, so even if the Fizz kills something, and here, this is a Fizz with Ignite teleport. He doesn't have flash. Usually skills early as well. Really great punish.
And I mean, Warlord's Bloodlust actually pretty key here in the chase down. But the big thing is, when you're playing against a team like this, has done lane swap multiple times, you have to realize that they're doing this and hold your skill point until you know what they're doing. If you held that skill point as the Fizz, you can Playful Trickster away and survive that.
100% agree. There's no excuse not to see that one coming. We'll say this, lane swaps almost never happen in the LPL. The only team that does it is
they don't happen anywhere. For a good reason. They're bad when you scout them and you make the necessary precautions, like Azale saying.
Yeah.
A single ward, suddenly this Jhin Woo is like trolling in the top lane, and you push for bot lane, you get a free turret, and suddenly you're 1,000 gold ahead.
Exactly. I think that's a very key point here. It's like, okay, the lane swap comes through, you get 2 early kills, and yet your ADC's being out CS by 30 at 10 minutes. Your top laner as well, because you swap him back when the wave is pushing away from him. So now you have a Galio who's staring across a Fizz who's got an experience advantage. What do I do at that point? It's not really Stark's fault.
Sounds like a nightmare. It's like, what do I do? I'm stuck in this lane. Then you try and roam, right? If you're the Galio, you try and go with the teleport, you know, with the ultimate. But it didn't work because they didn't have pushing lanes.
And they have no way to get the Galio in. You know, one of the things that I have been pretty vocal about with the Galio pick is I do like it as a pairing, right? Great with the Zed, great with the Fizz. You have ways in. Who's supposed to get the Galio into the backlines here? Is Graves supposed to like flash in on them or something? I mean, it just doesn't really work offensively ever.
Yeah, really didn't make sense as a composition. I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, Jhin, I guess, could flash in and just deliver that one for him.
I mean, that wraps it up then. Maybe let's just talk a little bit about the TSMG2 guys.
No, that's right. I'm going to shut you up because we're going to talk to one of the players. It's time to get some insight on that game, so let's pass it over to Shox. It's with WE's Man in the Jungle.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm joined here by Condi, who has led WE to the next round and also now secured the 2nd place in the rankings, which means that they will be avoiding SKT at least until the finals. And Condi, because of that 2nd place and with what you know about the other teams, what do you think of your chances of making it to the final and your expectations for the semifinal?
就恭喜你们锁定了小组第2，然后出现了，然后你们也第1轮也不会遇到 SKT 了。那么想问一下你，你觉得你们进入决赛的机会现在有多大？
我们的目标其实现在就是去决赛的。我觉得我们现在进决赛的可能性非常大吧。只要我们 能保持好现在的状态，我觉得是没有问题的。
So their goal in this tournament is to make the final. And given what they are at this moment, their condition, they think they have a pretty good chance of making to the final.
Yes, I would agree with that. And Condi, you and Peanut have been two of the best junglers in this tournament. And I heard you speaking some strong words before the show in a video about the WE versus SKT matchup. Can you tell me about what that matchup specifically versus Peanut is going to be like for you?
就是大家认为你和 Peanut 现在是这个 MSI 里面最厉害的2位打野，然后你在赛前呢也放出了一些狠话。那么你觉得你在接下来这场和 SKT 对决中，你和 Peanut 会产生什么样的火花？
我觉得 SKT 感觉也是就是 Peanut 在前期的带动点是比较强的，所以说而且我们队也是就是如果我拿到挺好的英雄的话，我们的前期节奏也会变得很好。我觉得我可能在前期的话会跟他产生一个比较大的一个斗争吧。
So he think SKT actually snowballed really well off Peanut's early game regression. So he think same for the WE. If they have comfort picks, they can really play a really good early game. So he think early game will be the key in their match against SKT.
All right, well, that will be a fantastic match to watch. I do quickly want to ask your opinion on the next match that come in, as it is a very important one for, deciding who will go on as well. Is TSM versus G2. What is your prediction and why?
那么接下来就是北美欧洲的宿命对决了。那你觉得哪支队会胜出呢？
其实我觉得 TSM 应该会更强一点吧。
原因
的话，因为我跟他们2个队都打过嘛，因为就是感觉就是 TSM 我觉得会更厉害一点。
So actually, they've been playing both teams already. So he felt like TSM has an edge over G2.
All right, well, we'll see if that comes through. Thank you very much, Condi. Congratulations so far. And we will be right back with G2 versus TSM. I can barely control myself, but you guys should stick around.
Not to be, and that's going to slow down his jungle path a lot. Not to mention, not
so much damage. Last shot coming in. Over 7 ignited. There's first blood again for Gigabyte Marine. Caught out as well. Galliotti coming in and leader. Back over the wall with a quick drop. And Archie already so long. Mystic snipes him barely with an auto attack. And now 957 jumps to the back and takes down Optimus. And so going to move forward, jumping onto a carry. Optimus going to get polymorph, but he's going to dive into the backline. CA takes out Slay with a shove. And 957 still living for a little while longer. So many shields. Mystic unstoppable. Takes one down. That's an ace for WE. Mystic far forward, shooting the open X as WE clinch second and take down the Gigabyte Marines.